Hi, Daniel. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for such a nice introduction. I believe it was nice because I, didn't understand anything. So I hope show me well and properly. And I really believe that. So hello, everybody. I'm calling from Warsaw today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about employer branding. Luckily, employer branding today is like, everybody understands what employer branding is because it's international language, which is English. Sorry for not speaking your language. I was trying to catch up and understand a bit before. Thank you, Raluca, for great case study. I always seen the English slides, but as far as I understand, it's really cool. Congratulations. So coming back to my presentation, I'm not going to show you any particular case because there is a lot of cases we've been doing throughout, like 10 years now. But what I found consulting different companies, mostly big companies, but also smaller IT software houses, for example, we see there's some, challenges that show them, and I'm not saying that it's easy to overcome them, but I want to share with you what we see trying to take employer branding on a more strategical level, to pitch and sell employer branding to business, and yet doing it on a operational level. So I really congratulate everybody who is these days trying to do employer branding. I'm coming from Employer Branding Institute. 𝗵𝗵 is like many things connected to employer branding. We try to teach people how to do it strategically using data. So today I'm going to show you and tell you a little bit about how data can help managing brands. I'm from myself. Okay, so myself, just I'm not going to talk about myself much, but I'm from data science. Once I joined employer branding, I love it. So I said, okay, why not joining these two disciplines? So I've got my PhD in psychology, in chaos theory, and then I start the Employer Branding Institute, and that's the story. So I really try to understand how to measure the brand, navigate the employer branding using data, and how to sell it to the business. And I believe you guys doing employer branding probably on different levels, but trying to sell it internally to business and show the outcomes, and that's how it should work actually. But I know it's not easy, and I know it takes time, and I want to share my experiences with that, with a little bit of cases. So now, looking on the project we've done, there's many brands, many sectors, many target groups, many countries. We see there is a challenge to first sell employer branding to business, talk about the revenue out of this really holistic area, and yet do this on the operational level day by day. Like speakers before showed, like we do a lot of many activations talking about employer branding and trying to build this brand, build the experiences, but still, and yet we have to think about the business outcomes. So that is what I wanted to share with you. That's my personal experience out of these many projects and many clients, many discussions, many pitches, business pitches about employer branding. So I would say data, I would say like employer branding these days is like a kind of dots matching challenge. So I want to share with you this idea that you have to think about how to catch the dots, and how to match them together to be able to not only sell the projects, but also, and that's the most important challenge, how to activate it strategically within the organization across your different processes. So let's see these. I'm going to show you 3 dots, and we try to match them. So if we can, first, let's see the great recruitment video from Medalia. If we can, if I could please ask you for showing the video. That's the only video I'm going to share. So probably you've seen it, but let's see it. Thank you very much. So we've seen, in my opinion, it's a great video about hiring in a time of diversity and showing that we are really diverse. Let's leave it. Then we've got the information from, it was like maybe few months ago, maybe like 5-6 months ago, while CEO of the Starbucks said that he's going to compensate his teams and his executive team actually dependently actually of the how much they hire and manage the diversity within the organization. It was obviously the States, and our countries, our region is quite different, but yet it is really important message the organization, a CEO organization, a huge organization is sending, that we not only going to hire diverse teams, but we are going to compensate our exec teams accordingly if they manage this policy well. So that's second dot, and showing that the organization really cares about this diversity thing. It's that second, so that's our second dot. And then again, we've got different statistics, different numbers. I just collect some of them from different reports, saying and showing actually numbers, how diversity and how hiring diverse teams. And we talk about not only gender diversity, but also ethnical and cultural diversity, how it is impacting business, how it is impacting cash flow returns, how it's impacting profitability, how it's even impacting the EBIT margin. So this is the dot, this is third dot, and you see that this great video showing externally to the candidates that, okay, we are company that is hiring diverse teams, and we want to see you as a whole. Doesn't matter what gender, what ethnicity you are. We see at the very end that this is it should be, and it's impacting the business. So that is why, as like, we see three dots. First was really great video, really great execution, nice message. At the end, we see the numbers, and in the middle, we see the CEOs talking about the policies internally. So what I wanted to maybe not tell you, but try to make you like this idea, maybe not love this idea, that that employer branding, the same as HR, but employer branding is the discipline I'm talking about, is about producing revenue, producing higher revenue, producing business outcomes. So once we get it, when we understand it, once we're matching these dots, that we are not only producing the nice visuals, nice video, but we are doing employer branding because we want to produce, and I'm using this produce word because we want to produce higher revenue, then we've got a business with us, and we can not only get a better budget, do the better project, but also influence strategically the whole organization and do employee branding on this level. So that is the message, written message. But for those who likes visuals, the customer success managers, the nice video we've seen, we should think, okay, is it generating higher revenue, and how it's generating higher revenue for our organization? And that's something that once we did like hundreds of different projects, this is a kind of a nightmare and challenge, because whenever I see any nice graphics, I always think about, okay, so has anybody done it? What's the business goal? where is the money there? Why somebody is producing such videos, such key visuals, such campaigns, such social media? And I always think, okay, so what they're producing, what is the goal behind? Is it, incoherent with the strategic goals, with marketing goals, whatever we take into account? So I really strongly advise you, and really great if you take only one thing out of this presentation. It's like, before you make great visuals, before you make great concept, think first about your goals, about your strategy, about the measures, KPIs you want to achieve through this communication, and even if it's great, it should bring breath to the business. So that's about matching dots, and I know it's nice to say, it's easy to say, okay, so we should look at these different perspectives, but how to do this? I would say we need to start communicating with different levels within the organization. Maybe you've already started and you can do that, but just to be sure, I want to tell you how to navigate and use employee branding and sell employee branding on different levels. Because what I see, we've got challenges how to talk about employee branding projects to different levels in organizations. Once we get it, it's really easier. So let's say we've got three different stakeholders, three main stakeholders actually for employee branding. So we've got CEO, we've got HR director, we've got manager. We usually navigate these three different RVS, because we have to sell to the CEO, we have to sell to the HR director, or we are already talking and operating with this exec level. And then we've got managers, specialists who are delivering these employee branding experiences, who are building the policies, doing this all great stuff, like producing communication, being with the people, onboarding people, etc., etc. So this is sometimes a heavy job, but first let's see how to communicate employer branding on these three different levels. So because this is something I personally, looking at this 10 years or 12 years of experience, I personally find it really important to first sell the project and then execute it while having the great results. We do not often look at this from that perspective, being inside the organization, but looking at the different organizations, companies, I clearly see that there is a communication problem, selling problem, pitching problem, that HR folks for employee branding have really, a kind of, I don't want to use the word blog, but sometimes it is like you just feel the blog that somebody stick to its operations and not looking wider on these business parts. So really important part. And let's see how to navigate, how to use this employee branding stuff, looking at the three different levels. Obviously, we've got CEO level, and it's usually like like CEO, like business, doesn't have to be CEO. It can be a board member that is. It's quite normal, interested in what we actually want to do with this employer branding. What the hell is the employer branding about? And we know the hell, sorry for that, but why we want to do it? Where is the issue? Where is the pain? And eventually, where is the profit and revenue? So that's important. That's important level, and we have to translate employer branding into this profit revenue level. Then we've got HR. Let's say director or team of directors interested into this generating the revenue out of the processes, HR processes, including employer branding processes in organizations. So this level is about optimizing the processes. So we need to understand, okay, so what kind of processes we have, what can we optimize? And then we've got the manager, specialists, the execution level part. So those are folks who need to do this job, execute the strategy, prepare the strategy, prepare the EVP, prepare this activation plan. But this is important level as well, actually the most important level, because without those guys, there will be no employer branding at all. But yet, they need to first understand how to navigate this wide bunch of processes that are responsible for a great employee brand. So there are 3 levels, and looking at the CEO level, that's my favorite level because I like numbers and I really see the whole structure. But yet we usually work with this execution level. But how to sell to the CEO employer branding? You've got 2 ways. Either you show this, either you show the numbers talking about profit margin, revenue growth. The most important and most challenging issue is to show how really great organizations or other organizations from our sector, or based on data, using our internal data, showed how we project that these employer branding activities are going to impact profit margin or whatever business measure you choose. But we need to translate it into this language. You can also use going down. You can also use this more granular measurement, like benefit. If you're talking about benefits, let's say you can always use this measure like benefits cost ratio, showing which how you're going to impact the business. That's the numbers level. There are some CEOs, boards who are actually liking these case studies and comparisons. So you can always show the Virgin Media. You probably know the case because it's a really, really old case, showing how Virgin Media has lost for more than £4 million in 1 year, just by not improving or taking care of the candidate experience and recruitment operations and levels, because there were certain amounts of people who canceled their subscriptions, and that's how they calculated how much money they're losing. So it always helps, maybe not always, but usually helps to show the numbers and show these similar cases. Maybe not saying that you're going to produce that money, but showing how much and how it's important to take care of the different processes within the organization when we talk about employer branding. I'm not going to talk about this case study, just showing you how to use the argumentation and arguments. So that's the CEO level. Now we've got the HR director, interested into the how can we optimize our activities to make more revenue, what should be done, including employer branding processes. So again, slides is like this level is about mitigating, for example, the turnover risk. I'm showing you the predictive model from IBM that the folks using the IBM Watson, the people analytics engine to model the more than 100 variables responsible for flight risk with the certain point of accuracy. So thanks to that modeling, we can show, okay, what is important to mitigate the turnover risk, even because that's a lot of data, that's a lot of data points. You can clearly see there that can be something surprising, but if you're operating on that level, I'm pretty sure you know that working with turnover, it's not an easy task. So there is no one variable that is responsible for people, leaving our job. There are many things behind that, and using data, we can model it. We can predict who is going to leave us, or what kind of profile are going to leave us, because after yeah, so just leave it like that. So we are interested into that. When we think about employee branding, we are interested into the whole idea. How is our employee brand evaluated? Do we do enough, or should we do more? How are we evaluated and mark local market, or in comparison to global companies in our sector, in our target groups, in our recruitment competitors landscape? So that is really important, and we on that level we rather want to see the general recommendations and challenges we have to overcome. So again, this level is about rather, okay, so which processes should we take care to produce more profits, produce more revenue? So that's the idea. And then we've got this third level, what we should do and how we change it. And this is my second favorite level, because this job is really can be really exciting, but it's very challenging, because you have to think about your whole employee brand, and as a brand, and then you have to think about the policies, tools you use. There is so many things inside employee branding that is sometimes hard to see the whole employee brand through. So the best I recommend, and what we usually do with our clients, or different companies, we usually see it through the stages. We call it employee branding talent journey, but it's really similar to buying any other brands. Can be consumer brands, like clients brands. We see Ferrari, we see Volvo. So when candidate is choosing you over other company, he's choosing your brand. So you have to think about, okay, so the candidate is buying my brand, so does he know me? Does he like me? Does he think rationally that it's for him or not? So he's making a rational decision. Then he applied. Then he or she obviously is going through this whole employee cycle, experiencing these employee brands through different processes like onboarding, career path, performance management, leadership, etc., etc. So there is many things that your users of your brand are experiencing this brand. So you as a HR specialist, employee brand specialist, are responsible for going down to these processes, going down to these experiences, reinventing them, checking them first, reinventing them, and building it again, or improving them, or just making it on the same level. So this is really complex things. So because when we go through all these processes, there are many of them. So that's probably exciting part, because it's complex. But whenever I'm just mentioning few a few of them. So whenever you build the awareness of your brand, and there are different things you can do to make your brand more, visible to candidates. For example, using your brand, consumer brand as a channel, and there are many great cases around that. How companies use consumer brands. Whenever you are trying to reduce time to hire, obviously, by using automatization, by using artificial intelligence, or improving the UX in your selection process, this is a great case study from Unilever. I've been presenting it previously, so you can just Google the Unilever case study using artificial intelligence. But whenever you do this, this is only one process out of many, but it's things that should be done on this level. And from this candidate path, employee path level, whenever you're trying to minimize the turnover, especially if it's regrettable, and making people loyal by, for example, giving the purpose. Again, it's not that easy thing, and it's about not only offering them, career development, but also about building the culture that sticks, building the leadership skills that are capable of, motivating people, especially these days, because we've got remote work, so it's really hard, and many of our clients can come to us and ask for advice, or they've got an issue how to build the culture and be a leader and build the leadership skills once we work in a remote tribe. So this is really a challenge, but this is only one thing that is building employer branding experience. So so this level is really important. But what I want to say is, first of all, before you start doing any great graphics, again, it's like, please try to think about where are you, on what level are you, what should be done, how you think about your processes, how you think about employer brand experiences. What is the most important part for your target group, for your brand? Where is the issue? How are you going to work on that and to produce these these outputs that are influencing eventually the revenue? So because what I see, it's usually, like, maybe not usually, but it's often like we are doing something because somebody else is doing this, or this is a trend worldwide that we are doing. We're working on diversity, for example. This is very today issue, and we are not reflecting on ourselves. We're not seeing this structure and our internal numbers, the data we've got. It doesn't matter if you use this framework or any other. Just first go to your processes, data, numbers, see what's going on, and then choose wisely how can you improve particular things to make your brand eventually go better. And I always say that employer branding, building great employer brands, is a long story. It's never-ending story. So once you improve one thing, then you have to improve something else, and etc. So it's really important level, but the challenge here is first see these processes through. So, and important thing, because that's what we do, is also you can use any framework you want, but it's important to know that employment value proposition, there were many employment value propositions during this conference and other conferences, that the holy grail of employer branding. So even when we think about employer brand, employment value proposition, we do not usually think that it can be measured, and really it can be measured. If it can be navigated, it's manageable. So when you think about that, start thinking, okay, so how can I measure my EVP first? Then I try to implement it across the organization. So this is important stuff. And at the very end, I want to, because that's one of my last slides, because we have this idea fix that the employer branding can be measured, that every employee brand can be measured, that every process can be measured. I know I'm boring with this data and measurement, but that's how I see how we can strategically navigate the employer branding. So if you want to get the free assessment of your brand, we are for the participants of this conference, just let me know via LinkedIn or email. LinkedIn is the best. If you want to get the assessment, so if you said, okay, we are from Daniel, from Romania, we can include you, and you can use our platform to get through these processes. That's quite easy tool to get assessment and see where are you on what level, and then you can go to your business saying, okay, we want to work on that because we know that we are able to produce the revenue you expect. So that's something I wanted to say. And remember, that's the last slide. And actually, I really believe that if you're going to remember only one thing, just remember, before you make beautiful designs and concept, key visuals, videos, whatever, think first about what is to be achieved, what's your goal, where are you, and then how to address that with the communication. So first thinking, then creating. And that was my last slide. See you on the map, see you on somewhere on the on worldwide hope. I really wish you a great maybe not afternoon, but next presentation, and hopefully I not bored you with these data things, but it's really fascinating. It's growing, so take care and have fun with data.